When humanity's pride would lead us to our downfall. When the heavens themselves would forsake us. The Kyoshin alone would look up to see what was hidden, to hear what was silenced. To cherish what was about to fade. Shedding their old selves, shimmering along the haze. Embracing a new power, to be transformed and awakened. They would carve their own path in the land of fire.
disability community, we have a saying, nothing about us without us. It's to say our rights, access, and inclusion in the world can't be met in proper or full ways without direct involvement. It's as true for gaming as it is access to a building. It's really important to us that we work with the community to improve accessibility. By not just involving, but valuing players and developers with first-hand experience of disability, we're much less likely to make mistakes in our approaches. Even if our efforts are well-intentioned, they might not really reduce a barrier or contribute to stigma. We're really thankful and proud of the community for their contributions.
When I was working with Ubisoft on Watch Dogs Legion, we got to sit down at a table going through ideas on how a feature could be used, like the directional captioning, or what kind of information could be on the screen at the same time. Whatever could be removed. There was a lot of going back and forth to make sure there was no confusion. It was great how they were double-checking to make sure they got it right. I grew up waiting for accessibility to be something companies can talk about.
Watch Dogs Legion's Play As Anyone innovation brought with it a promise of diversity and inclusion that inspired our team to make accessibility a core pillar of our design from the very beginning. The game offers a visualized sound effect system that captions hundreds of ambient world and gameplay sounds, from birds singing to footsteps to cars accelerating or crashing, each prioritized by context and spatialized with a directional indicator. The Watch Dogs Legion's team is extremely proud to have achieved this new level of accessibility, but it's only the beginning. Games that are truly accessible to everyone will require continuous innovation and effort, and I look forward to seeing today's innovations become tomorrow's standards.
On Assassin's Creed Valhalla, we started working on accessibility features very early in the process. We have options for players to choose their text size, but also the text size of the subtitles. You can add a background to your HUD elements to make sure the contrast is good for you. We can adjust the icon size also, depending on your gaming setup. We want to make sure you get the most out of it.
Ubisoft's goal is to make games that enrich our players' lives. And key to that is making games that are inclusive and accessible to all. What we've seen is that by talking to the community and learning from each other, our teams are really inspired to innovate and find solutions, striving to challenge themselves and always improve.
So, you might often see on social media a game announcing that it's gone gold. But the question is, what does that actually mean? You may not know this already, so I'm going to tell you. So when we say that a game has gone gold, it means that the game has been approved for manufacture. So that can be Sony, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Nintendo, whichever platforms we're targeting for that specific game. The game is fully playable, it's stable, it's got a decent level of performance, and everything's basically working. And also that we've passed all of the compliance requirements from those first parties, and they have basically said, yep, off you go to manufacture. And then we start making the discs from there. So the term going gold comes from when this was all done on physical discs. It's digital now, but when this was physical discs, the ones that were sent to the manufacturer companies with that version of the game on that has been given the thumbs up, they were gold coloured, and so we still use that term today. So when we go gold, it doesn't mean that all the work is done for the team. We usually go to manufacture about 6 to 8 weeks before launch, so there's some time there that we can use to properly polish the game and fix things like stability and little niggly issues that might impact the gameplay when we go live. So one of my best memories from shipping a game is when we were working on the Division 2, and we decided quite last minute there that we wanted to make some improvements to the onboarding and tutorials right at the beginning of the game. So what that involved was me running around the office, just speaking to people, trying to see what was possible, what was safe to do, what changes we could make that were really going to improve everything. And it was great to be able to work that tiny bit of magic right at the end that was going to improve the experience for everyone. So when a game goes gold, that's quite a big milestone for the team. It means that something that they've been working on for quite a few years is almost ready to go. So remember to give them a shout out when you hear a game's gone gold. It means that we're all really excited to see you get your hands on the final product.
When I started this project, the homework I got from, from the Ubisoft team was go home and play. My name is Einar Salvik, a musician and composer from Norway.
My name is Julie Fowlis and I'm a musician and a singer from Scotland. I predominantly sing in Scottish Gaelic. The music that I perform is deeply rooted, the music of the Highlands and Islands in particular.
I understood quickly that myself and people in the music team of Ubisoft, we had a lot of the same ideas and vision of what my part in it could be. When I decided I wanted to have Julie on board and she's accepted, I could already hear the music in a way. I've known Julie for a long time, been a fan, and always hoped at some point come an opportunity to do something together. I do connect to her way of approaching the older song traditions. It feels great to have her part of this.
It was certainly an amazing opportunity to work with Einar. I love his work, I love his music, and his approach to making music. To work with Einar on these songs was just something to me that felt quite natural and really enjoyable, actually.
I have implemented instruments such as the lyre, which would be the most common string instrument at the time. I of course used the bronze horns that we also have in Scandinavia and was present in Ireland at this time and for a long period before this as well. One instrument that I introduced that I didn't use in the main game is the crwth. It's a form of lyre, was present in both Ireland and Wales and Scotland.
So of the two songs that we worked on, one of them was in Old Irish, Flann for Eden.
That is actually an excerpt of a poem dating from the early 800s. That was the intention of the song, creating a praise poem for Flann. The Liafalis, there are many strange myths about it. It is sort of the coronation stone that had a power of choosing the king. When a truthful king would touch it, the ground would resound beneath it. It is sort of the heartstone of Ireland.
It was really a great experience working on these two songs. They were very, very different stylistically and linguistically also.
We wanted the Gaelic language, Old Irish Gaelic, which is a mysterious language.
This is a language that we have evidence of through writing, but we don't know how it sounded.
We don't actually know for sure how it sounded, so it's a little bit of educated guessing.
The legend is that the stone will bring woe, but the song claims if Ireland came to peril, the stone would rain a storm of wonders.
Ciara is a very important character in this story. Ciara means the dark-haired one, and it was challenging for me too. I had to adopt the voice of this amazing character who's a very, very strong character. But it was really incredible recording the voice parts and being directed in real time from Canada.
I put a lot of heart into my work. It's important that it reflects the game, but also reflects the culture.
The music and the language, they really shape our identity as Gaels. It was hugely satisfying to work on the music, and actually for me it was a great way to channel some creativity during the pandemic.
1986, Brittany, France. The Guillemot brothers catch a glimpse of the future and launch Ubisoft. No internet, no emails. Just a bunch of people and a passion for technology and games. Today, Ubisoft still has an eye on a future where 85% of the jobs that will exist in 2030 haven't even been invented yet. Since Ubisoft can't predict the future, we need people ready to forge it. Talented people who aren't afraid to create the unknown. And Amandine Lower is one of those people. This is Amandine.
Coucou.
She hates interviews.
Or about that.
But we'll find a way, because it's worth it. I could tell you she's a junior developer, a graduate of a video game school, but I won't, because she's not. Instead, I'll tell you the story of an unexpected career path. Well, I'm the narrator, by the way. I don't really exist, but I know Amandine and I know Ubisoft. She'll correct me if I get anything wrong.
I can do that.
Amandine loves arts and crafts. She draws illustrations and character art. She can crochet tiny cute animals. She studied languages at the University of Chambéry, France. She lived in New Mexico and Japan. In each new place, she started off from scratch, totally lost, barely understanding a word, and she loved it.
I can't say it was always easy, but I love developing new skills to get out of tricky situations.
This is Peo. He hates turning his camera on during calls.
But I'll make an exception for you.
But he'll make an exception for us. Peo is Amandine's first real boss. He recruited her in 2016 for an internship in communications, even if she didn't have a degree in communications. She seemed daring and resourceful. He trusted her immediately. And yes, Amandine plays video games, but lots of people at Ubisoft play games. Many don't, and that's just how Ubisoft likes it. Amandine managed Ubisoft's internal weekly newsletter. She felt this job was a perfect match for her independent spirit and her taste for new challenges. But she'll never forget Peo saying, "Push the button, Amandine. It will only be sent to 11,000 people." It's 20,000 now. Props to Maureen, she's now the one in charge of sending the email.
Easy peasy.
This is Colleen. She's a content communications manager. She helped Amandine build on what she learned with Peo when she hired her next.
She wasn't afraid to break with convention, and I really encourage that.
Because it provides a new way of doing things. Amandine started organizing conferences and writing speeches for Ubisoft speakers. She was learning something new again, and she loved it.
I know it sounds weird, but she's telling the truth. I love a good challenge.
But in Amandine's head, a little seed had been planted. An idea was forming. She was so close to the people making the games she loved. 2 years later, it became clear. She wanted to be a line designer. Amandine reached out to Elizabeth. She was leading teams of line designers at the time.
The way she talked about the game she liked was so passionate and professional. She was even able to connect an IP to a player's journey and talk about those tiny details that can sometimes make a huge difference on the quality of the game.
Amandine started helping production teams design the content of their games. She's one of the bridges between the top management at HQ and the production teams in Ubisoft studios around the world. She is an interpreter, as she has always been.
Yes, being a line designer is all about communication.
You can always reinterpret your skills in a brand new way. Looking back, without Peo and Colleen, she would have missed a key step. That's it. Thanks, Amandine, for your inspiring story.
Merci.
Before I go, did you like this story? Head over to ubisoft.com to hear more just like this one and maybe even take your first step towards creating the unknown with Ubisoft.
And I really encourage that.
Easy peasy.
Rated E10.
Hello everyone! As you may already know, Ubisoft has been supporting indie studios for many years now. Whether it's on production, innovation, creative or even financial support, our teams have been supporting indie studios from all over the world. Today, we wanted to use Forward to highlight a selection of indie games we've had the pleasure of supporting recently. Enjoy!
Hi, I'm Sandro, the co-founder of Tucana Interactive, a young independent game development studio based in Berlin, Germany, currently working on Dorfromantik. Dorfromantik is a relaxing strategy and puzzle game where you create an ever-growing idyllic landscape by placing tiles. You can immerse yourself in a beautiful, peaceful and quiet world if you need a break from everyday life. But Dorfromantik also offers a challenge for those who are looking for one. Because to beat the high score, you do not only need to plan ahead, but also place your tiles very strategically. We are the lucky winners for Ubisoft's Entrepreneurs Indie Camp in the German-speaking area, and we are excited for the upcoming acceleration program, where we participate in mentoring sessions and are able to receive marketing support, such as the Indie Game Arena booth at Gamescom. Dorfromantik is already available right now in early access and will go into full release later this year. In addition, we also already have plans for mobile and the Nintendo Switch, so there's a lot still to be discovered. Thank you for your time and to Ubisoft for this great opportunity.
Hey y'all, so I'm in Taylor. I'm one of the co-creators of Bravery Network Online, a game by Gloam, which is our studio. Bravery Network Online is a turn-based strategy game. You've got a team of 5 fighters. You're playing against an opponent's team of 5 fighters. And they are, a little bit gay. But if you're not gay, that's okay too. I think that it's a really, really fun world, and I think that the competitive play of it is really solid. We've been working with Ubisoft for a little bit now. We actually are the winners of Ubisoft's 2019 indie series run by Ubisoft Toronto. They've helped us out so much over the years. They've given us press support when we launched into early access. They connected us with different folks internally who could help us out, and even to folks outside their company. We have a pretty vibrant Discord community and a lot of folks who've just been enjoying the game, and we're really appreciative of that. Bravery Network Online is in early access now, so feel free to pick it up and send it to some friends. I would really appreciate that very personally, so thank you. Bye.
Hello everyone, I'm David Prinswell, game director on You Suck at Parking. You Suck at Parking is the world's most extreme parking game and probably the only racing game where the goal is to actually stop your car. It's a funny physics-based racer, which doesn't take itself too seriously, but still requires enough skill for you to master the hardest tracks.
We crashed into the Ubisoft design team a while ago and we had some great discussions on You Suck at Parking. They gave us actionable advice and great feedback along the road. And they've been championing the game ever since, so we're super grateful for them.
You Suck at Parking presents you with a ton of varied and surprising levels. The goal is to fill every parking spot before the timer runs out. And don't get too attached to your cars though, because you'll have to respawn a lot. For the competitive players out there, there's leaderboards in every level so you can compete with your friends and the world for those top spots. And for everyone that's feeling creative, we've also included a level editor that features everything that's in the main game, so you can go all out and be creative and make your own tracksuit.
You want to know how much you suck at parking? You can already do so. Download the demo. You can also talk to us, show us your best moves, or talk to other parksters at our Discord. Happy parking!
Hi everyone, I'm Olivier Guédon, producer here at Ubisoft Ivory Tower. The Crew 2, launched in 2018, reaches its 3rd anniversary. It's been a very intense year, with multiple content deployment. Every 4 months, a new season, and every 2 months, a new episode. We delivered all the content announced 1 year ago. And for this, I would like to warmly thank our teams here at the studio for their work and commitment despite the COVID-19 context. But it's also time to warmly thank you, our community, since we are really proud to announce that we are now more than 30 million players to have joined the Crew franchise since 2014. And for those who have not joined in yet, what a better time to jump in the Crew 2. First, claim this amazing vehicle for only 1 Crew credit in-game starting today. Also, next week, enjoy 1 event for each major update we released so far in a special anniversary live summit. But it's far from being over, and I'm super happy to announce more seasons for our 4th year. This new content will of course be available through Motherflix, new season, and episode. But enough talk, and enjoy a glimpse of your next Motherflix show. Thank you all!
crowd racing against the clock. Welcome to special number 1 of the U.S. Speed Tour East, around New York City, the Big Apple.
Daytona, Florida, speeding along the world's most famous beach.
What a perfect day here in Miami. Fans are gathering, drivers are ready. Hey, I think we're going to have a great race today. I cannot wait for this season to get started. Each new season brings fantastic feeling. The fever, the hope, the excitement.
The teams are getting ready.
And I guarantee you that they are ready to make the show. Who will be the fastest to compete? The U.S. Speed Tour East is about to start. It's probably the biggest race of my career. What a mess out there! Are you ready? The clock's ticking. Go, go, go! Check that one out!
Final leg of the final stage. New York, New York. Watch the drivers go for it.
Got the whole place rocking, it's popping, no stopping. Standing on the stage, got the whole place watching. Vacation, hotel hopping. I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. Standing on the stage, got the whole place rocking. I'm a big deal, I'm a big
This car rustles my jimmies in a way that jimmies should not be rustled by a car.
Worldwide on the scene, I'm a big deal. Everybody know me, I'm a big deal. Do that there, how you do it, do it, do it, do it, do that there, how you do it, do it, do it, do it, do that there, how you do it, do it, do it, come on, woo, I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. 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 I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal.
Hey everyone, I'm Latish Dalinaudan, live producer on Watch Dogs Legion. Back in October 2020, you recruited a resistance, built DedSec, and saved our near-future London. Since then, you have jumped in online modes with friends, dared our tactical ops, and fought for London with Mina. Now, on behalf of the team, I'm proud to give you a taste of what's coming up in Watch Dogs Legion Bloodline.
Got a simple job for you, Aiden. Huge payday.
What's the catch?
It's in London. That's where your nephew Jackson lives, right? Anyway, the job's pretty straightforward. Break inside Broken Tech and steal a device giving control over an army of weaponized robots. That thing must not fall into the wrong hands.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Easy, easy! Hey, I know you. Give me that. This, no. 3. I need it for a thing.
2.
Okay, I guess we're doing this.
All I need is that little device stolen by your partner. The one in the stupid mask?
I can find him.
I just don't think I can trust you without some insurance.
I'm just tired of criminals and con men running the world.
I need you to pay attention.
How do I tame the deer? How do I tame the deer? Oh, not like that! My bad? Now I feel bad.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Ubisoft Forward. I'm Neelam.
And I'm Yusuf. We're so thrilled to be back hosting Ubisoft Forward. Over the next hour, we'll be your guides to all the latest news and exciting announcements coming from Ubisoft.
We've got so much in store for you today, including deeper looks at Far Cry 6, Riders Republic, and Rainbow Six, plus a few other surprises you'll find out about soon enough.
Neelam, I'm excited. We're filming this together. We got this gorgeous set. E3 is back. But I know why y'all are here. You want to see games, so let's get right into it.
The Rainbow Six operators are facing off against an evolving and deadly threat. You'll no doubt have noticed that the alien parasite has spread to new areas. It's time to suit up and step into the containment zone.
Here's a deeper look at Rainbow Six Extraction.
I used to feel so much peace staring into the heavens until a piece of it fell. And the nightmare began. We thought it could be contained, but it evolved. So we did too.
One of our own is MIA. I need an extraction team, now!
If there's a way to stop them, you will find it. But I know you will find me first.
Okay, the plan. Nomad, secure our exit. I'll take out the nests.
And I'll find Ivana. I have your signal. Let's go.
We are already out of the nests.
Incoming! Clear the area!
Stand back!
Down.
Clear! Let's move out. Clock's ticking.
I found her. Ivana, hold on. I've got company.
Coming through.
Countermeasures.
Check. Make for the exit. An apex! Get down!
Ella, look out! I don't have the gun!
Not so fast.
Target the breacher! Now's our chance!
Nomad, blow the door! Cover me!
Hey, you all throwing me a party?
Yeah. Too bad you missed all the fireworks.
Team, it's Ash. We're not done yet. VIP down and...
Now, I know you must have a ton of questions after seeing that trailer, and we have answers as well as a full gameplay walkthrough coming up, so hang tight. My name is Richard. I'm your resident community developer coming to you from North Carolina. We're thrilled to be back to give you an introduction to Rainbow Six Extraction. With me today in Montreal, I have Bruno Lalonde, our lead technical director, and Alicia Fortier, game designer, to help walk us through. Alicia, what can we tell our players about Extraction?
Extraction is a 1 to 3 player co-op experience. You might think you know what you're getting into since there's going to be some of your favorite Rainbow Six operators, but it's going to be completely different because this time you're not fighting against each other. You're coming together to face an unprecedented, evolving alien threat. Some of the operators' abilities, gadgets, and tech should feel familiar to Siege players, but this time, as you progress through the game, you'll unlock new ability upgrades and a whole new arsenal specifically designed to take on this new threat.
So the operators we just saw in that trailer are very familiar, but what happened to Hibana?
She got captured. In Extraction, you're always putting it all on the line. If you or a teammate falls during an incursion, you're gonna go missing in action. You can't play MIA operators until they're safely recovered. You and your squad are gonna have to come back together to get back in there and get them out. Every time you go in the containment zone, you risk losing all your progress and upgrades. So stay on your toes and weigh every move you make.
Balancing that risk and reward scenario is going to be tough. Bruno, can you tell us a little bit more about the alien threat? What is it? Who are they? And where do they come from?
What we know is the Archeans are an evolved form of the parasite that was first detected few years ago during the Outbreak event in New Mexico. But a lot have changed since. The parasite has spread to 3 new regions, emerging in several containment zones within New York, San Francisco, and Alaska. This is what we know so far. Within the containment zones, the alien ecosystem is in a continual evolution, as incubation nests and their sprawling tissue spawn procedurally, taking over different areas of the map in reaction to the player presence.
The parasite is always spreading, always evolving, but it didn't look too happy about the operators disturbing their new home. What are we facing off against?
Well, the black goo-like sprawl is probably the first thing you will take on. It spreads to the map once your presence is detected, slowing progress and helping the Archeans. Some of the other threats you may have seen in the trailer are the long-range spiker, the explosive breacher, the shape-shifting tormentors, and the apex. There's a lot more species of Archeans and mutations that have been observed. More to come on that very soon.
Thank you both so much for joining me. I'm really excited to dig into more of the details. We still have crossplay to talk about. Yes, that's right. Extraction will bring everyone together regardless of the platform. And for our Rainbow Six Siege community, we have exclusive unlocks for you in both games. Okay, you've been waiting long enough. Let's take an exclusive first look at some gameplay footage. Here is Rainbow Six Extraction.
Welcome to Rainbow Six Extraction, the new tactical co-op shooter game where Rainbow Six operators are dropped into alien territory. In today's walkthrough, we're on a mission to investigate anomalies identified at the Orpheus Research Center in Alaska. HQ will provide additional instructions.
We need new data on the parasite's underground network. It keeps evolving, adapting. Plant auto trackers on dormant nests. Don't destroy them or we'll lose the trackers.
As a squad of 3, Ella, Alibi, and Sledge will use their operator abilities to complete objectives, assist each other, and obliterate Archeans in their way.
Drone spinning up.
That's a grunt. Easy for a nest to incubate and bring to life, not so easy to eliminate in large numbers.
Converge on location. Nice and quiet.
The enemy reacts to intrusions in their ecosystem, including operators.
Eliminate my target.
So stealth tactics are the way to go.
Visual on nest. Place auto trackers for our React scientists.
Auto tracker activated.
Visual hostile.
Auto tracker activated.
The parasite generates sprawl, a substance that connects their whole ecosystem. Alert an Archean, and a nearby nest wakes up too. Archeans move faster in Sprawl, but operators get slowed down.
Take my guy out.
The squad can use their React Light to see bioluminescent properties in Archeans and in the environment. The contrast helps to better identify targets.
Nest mapping complete. A scientist just gave me the thumbs up. Good job.
Identifying Archean variants helps the team determine the best approach to take them out.
Scan grenade.
Spotted a rooter. It can immobilize anyone in front of it, so Sledge will swing around back.
Get out of there before the swarm appears. Don't push your luck.
Airlock, go!
That was close. Here, the team can regroup and resupply. Airlock doors will open onto the next subzone, which will be tougher than the first.
We need tissue samples from those Archies, and we need them gone. Use your React blade. It's right there. React blade, do your thing.
That target is finished.
One down. We're not done yet. That's your target. Don't put it to death just yet. Get that sample.
We've located a spiker. It can fire armor-piercing projectiles. Alibi deploys a Prisma hologram.
Deploying the bait.
End of the line.
The squad can use React tech to go further in incursions. The more intel they collect, the more tech they'll have at their disposal to fight off this threat. It's all about teamwork to outsmart the enemy.
Barricade that spot.
Reinforcing the wall.
Creating a choke point is a good idea to increase the arc mine's efficiency.
Eyes on hostile!
That's the way. Keep hunting.
That's the React threat sensor. Smasher incoming.
Wow, that did it. Take out the leader, no leader for the Archies to follow.
Another objective completed. The squad can either exfil at the extraction point to bring home the latest intel, or move to the next airlock. The third subzone will be the most challenging yet, a true test of both tactical team strategy and operator reflexes.
Some Archeans are responding to an elite as if they're communicating. No way we'd let them mobilize against us. Hunt them down until the elite comes out of hiding. Show up any second.
Enemy located!
Eliminate my target!
I'm compromised! Eyes on hostile! Operator down!
Reloading! We have an operator in stasis.
An operator is now MIA.
I don't know if you can hear this, but we're mounting a rescue. Hang tight.
heard it. A rescue mission is underway. React still needs you.
Operators, it's time to unite and stand together against this emerging threat. Squad up with friends in co-op or step into the containment alone.
Stay tuned for more Rainbow Six Extraction intel coming very soon.
If you think fighting aliens is tough, try learning guitar.
Well, that was a segue.
10 years ago, Rocksmith redefined music learning by introducing the first console game that taught millions how to play guitar.
Whether you're already an expert or just starting out, Rocksmith has an approach that's for everyone. A fun and interactive way to learn guitar, playing your favorite songs. And in the decade since its release, our community and its impact have only amplified.
This year, let's turn it up to 11 and see what's next for Rocksmith.
I'm Arthur Von Nagel, producer at Ubisoft San Francisco, and Rocksmith has truly been a dream project for me. As a lifelong gamer and a touring musician, Rocksmith is what I wish I had when I started learning music. And that's why I'm thrilled to share the next evolution of music learning, Rocksmith Plus, a new interactive music learning subscription service available this year. Learn how to play guitar and bass by playing along to master recordings of your favorite songs. Connect your instrument to your PC, console, or mobile device and get real-time feedback as you play. Connecting with Rocksmith Plus will be easier than ever now that you can use your phone as a microphone. Download the app, log in, sync to Rocksmith Plus, set it down, and play along. Now, acoustic players and electric players with amps can use Rocksmith Plus with no extra gear needed. It's a game changer. And we're excited to reveal Rocksmith Plus will have a huge amount of songs at launch. All songs in the library will have chord charts that'll be perfect for rhythm players who want to learn the foundation of a song to hum and strum along to. We'll still have the note-for-note, authentic arrangements for players that want to play songs exactly how the artists originally played them. And each week, we'll release a steady stream of new authentic arrangements to keep growing that portion of the library. We're also introducing the Rocksmith Workshop, a new tool that lets users create and add their own arrangements for songs we've licensed. Your subscription will give you access to all those songs, more content than ever before, including genres beyond rock, We'll have pop, hip-hop, country, Latin, R&B, all sorts of metal subgenres. We'll have music from all over the world, from big stars to indie darlings. It's the most diverse song library ever seen in music learning software. Rocksmith Plus will still have our proven practice features like adaptive difficulty and riff repeater, which let you practice and learn at your own pace, or slow down and repeat tricky parts until you master them. We've improved those features in Rocksmith Plus and are introducing new ones. Beginner and intermediate players will benefit from more personalized learning, thanks to an enhanced recommendation system and more robust progress tracking. Players won't just see their growth on a single song. They can now monitor their progress technique by technique across the board, and overall offer a better sense of how you're improving over time. Advanced players will be happy to know we're introducing a new Rocksmith tablature view. That way you could take advantage of Rocksmith Plus's song library and practice tools in a format that's familiar and one that will hone your tab reading skills. We're excited to announce that you can register for a chance to participate in our closed beta right after the show. Visit our website at rocksmith.com to get an early look at Rocksmith Plus and help us test and create the future of music learning. Thank you so much to the amazing fans who have enjoyed and supported Rocksmith over the past 10 years. Let's jam together with Rocksmith Plus for another 10.
Register now for a chance to play the Rocksmith Plus beta. Summer's coming, and nothing gets thrill seekers' blood flowing like bright sun and fresh trails. And Riders Republic will give them just that.
Last year, you got a first look at our massive multiplayer outdoor sports extravaganza. Since then, the project's grown by jumps and grinds.
Greetings, thrill seekers. This is the Riders Ridge, the Republic's stomping ground. From here, you can meet like-minded riders, manage your career, learn to nail those wild moves, stay stylish, share your creations with the Republic, stay on top of the latest news, and take up some ferocious multiplayer action like Free-for-All or Tricks Battle, our 6 vs 6 team competition. So, here's how it works. Performing big tricks on the modules will turn them from red to blue, and every trick that you stomp will contribute to your team's overall score. You still with me? Okay. When your team has turned all the modules blue, you capture that district, which will help multiply your score into the big time. Progress, progress, progress. To unlock more content, you gotta earn those stars. So, if you want to be the boss of your own career, the world's most famous competitions are waiting for you. Now, some might say the best parts of the Republic can be found in the city playground. We've got modules that you can slay for days. Maybe you're all about living on the edge. Either way, to progress, you gotta earn those stars. Having the right rig is important too. And we've all got our preferences. All right, I get it. Sometimes you just want to explore and bathe in nature. That's right. Everything you do counts. Getting those stars means more rad to be had, and the Republic will abide. There's always something awesome to do as you reach new milestones and unlock more challenges. It's the Red Bull Joyride, people. It's infamous. It's spectacular. It's the biggest stage of slopestyle mountain biking. And guess what? You can play it versus your friends. There is so much more. More stunts. More sports. More events. Just more, okay? And a natural outdoor playground for you and your friends to enjoy, any way that you want. When we say fun with everyone, we mean it. Look at all these riders. Does this speak to you? Then don't miss out on mass races. Woo! The Republic awaits you, Ryder. See you soon.
Don't keep the mountains waiting. Riders Republic is coming September 2nd, and you can pre-order now and claim your right to rip.
Okay, so we've seen some of our favorite Rainbow Six operators battling alien parasites, but how's their day job going?
You know, ever since Crimson Heist, we're still trying to clear all those pesky Flores drones off the maps.
Year 6 is off to a blazing start, with Siege passing 200,000 concurrent players a few weeks ago. If you haven't joined in yet, 2021 is the perfect time to drop in.
Six years into our journey with Siege, we are humbled and grateful for the enthusiastic community that has supported this growth. So today is all about sharing quality of life developments that will dramatically improve player experience.
With the community growing every day, we've been hard at work finding ways to improve your ability to play with your friends and meet new players. On June 30th, we are unifying our PC and cloud-based platforms with crossplay and cross-progression. That means that any player on Amazon Luna, Stadia, or PC will be able to queue into games together while having a unified account progression.
And for console players, in early 2022, crossplay will be available between PlayStation and Xbox platform, and the cross-progression will be available between all platforms. For these updates, we needed a bit more time in order to prepare and make sure they have a smooth launch.
Bringing these player bases together benefits everyone. It will finally allow you to play with your friends across different platforms. It also means that your progression will now follow you, anytime and anywhere you play.
We know crossplay is a feature a lot of you has been anticipating, and we are thrilled to see the enthusiasm its announcement has inspired. From your amazing fan art to the awesome cosplays, the Rainbow Six community is the lifeblood that keeps this game moving forward.
We cannot thank you enough for your support. It is because of you that Siege keeps evolving and growing.
To wrap up, here's a brand new animated trailer starring Thunderbird, the new Defender joining Team Rainbow. Check this out.
Ready?
6 years ago, I met a pilot. She saved my life. That symbol, what does it mean?
This jacket was my father's. Dagu Wankan, Wichahpi. The Creator's star has many meanings. Love, wisdom, bravery.
Suits you.
Listen, I need to get this bird in the air. You try to get some rest.
You're the boss. What's happening?
Shh. Wait, that's it? What happened next?
Why don't you ask her yourself?
New projects aren't the only things to be excited about this year. Take a look at the incredible updates coming to our live games in 2021.
From the release of the Ghost experience to the latest teammate update, Ghost Recon Breakpoint keeps evolving thanks to your feedback. But that's not all. As 2021 marks the 20th anniversary of the Ghost Recon franchise, we are happy to announce that there are still many more surprises to come. Stay tuned, Ghosts.
Just Dance has always been about connecting with friends and family. When you're in good company, there are no bad dancers. So move the coffee table, alert the local homeowners association, and let's get loud.
Hello, my name is Todrick Hall, and I'm a singer, dancer, actor, director, and choreographer. I am super excited to announce that my song, Nails, Hair, Hips, Heels, is going to be a part of Just Dance 2022.
Legs, face, eyes, thin waist, thick thighs, you, me, you, wish, new phone, who, this.
But that's that's not all. Oh no, for the first time ever, the Just Dance team and I are collaborating to give you an exclusive version of my song for Just Dance 2022.
Girl, I don't dance, I work. I don't play, I slay. I don't walk, I strut, 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 and then sashay.
To me, Just Dance allows people to express themselves through dance and to celebrate who they are and their individuality in such a fun way. Just Dance has transformed millions of lives, and I hope that this song brings you all so much joy, whether you're dancing alone or with a group, to work out, or just to have fun. It's going to be a great time, and I can assure you, you will not just play, you will absolutely slay. The new lyrics were handcrafted specifically for Just Dance, and let me tell you something, they're full of sass because, you know, they were written by yours truly, but I guarantee they are going to give people so much confidence. That's the reason why I wrote Nails, Hair, Hips, Heels, and now it's been Just Danceified. I don't think they're ready for this jelly. I hope you all have just as much fun dancing to this track as I had making it. Oh, and one last thing. You will have the opportunity to be a part of the making of my new video, which will be released alongside the new Just Dance track. For more information on how to participate, darling, just check the link below. We got you. I cannot wait to see you all living your best life and being the most fabulous you have ever been. I will see you all in Just Dance 2022.
Girl, I don't dance, I work. I don't play, I slay. I don't walk, I strut, 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 and then sashay. But I don't work for free. That's not the tea, hunty. So make it rain on me, and I might let you see. Okay, dolls, y'all know what time it is. Come on, everybody on the floor. I want to see you work. Come on, nails, hair, hair. That's all.
It's time to get our Viking on. It was a big year for the new chief of the Raven clan, but your journey with Eivor is far from over.
In November 2020, we released Assassin's Creed Valhalla. To our delight, it was the biggest launch for any Assassin's Creed game to date, and we have you to thank for that. Becoming Eivor, a Viking leader going on a quest to fight for a new home, is an adventure that resonated closely with many of you. I certainly had fun exploring England with Eivor and stumbling across unique world events that left me with memorable side stories.
Thank you, Eivor.
We're amazed to see how you dedicated yourselves to the Viking lifestyle. You've led more than 300 million raids in total, and built more than 100 million buildings in your settlements. Congrats. Eivor still has a long journey ahead, and we've been continuing to offer free updates for all players to enjoy post-launch. These updates include time-limited festivals, new quests, and even whole new game modes, such as the River Raids update and the Mastery Challenge. We add in community-requested tweaks and features too. For instance, we'll be adding one-handed swords in the coming weeks. The team is also working hard at tackling issues and improving the game experience for everyone. We've been tracking various known issues on our forums, and also shared our complex bug-fixing process in a recent dev blog. We love seeing your continual feedback, and we thank you for your patience and support for the game. On top of regular free updates, we're also building on Eivor's story and the world of Assassin's Creed Valhalla through game expansions. Wrath of the Druids released a few weeks ago, allowing players to explore Ireland and battle a mysterious cult, the Children of Danu. In our second upcoming expansion, you'll get to relive the Siege of Paris. This is the most ambitious battle in Viking history, taking place in war-torn Francia. You'll have to do everything in your power to uncover enemy secrets and form strategic alliances in order to safeguard your clan's future. Players may be excited to learn that black box infiltration missions are returning. This means you're given a goal for a mission, but how you'll achieve it is up to you. Expect new abilities, weapons, gear, and of course, new enemies. Watch out for the Siege of Paris coming this summer. Assassin's Creed has long focused on the exploration of history, and we are happy to announce that the new Discovery Tour will be released this fall. It will be free to all who own Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Explore the world and take a deeper dive into the history of the Viking Age. The team has crafted a new experience where you'll get to play as people during the time of Vikings and follow them in their endeavors, big and small, while collecting exclusive rewards. Whether you're an Assassin's Creed fan with a heart for history or a student looking to supplement your knowledge, the Discovery Tour Viking Age will have you covered. Assassin's Creed Valhalla doesn't stop here. For the first time on an Assassin's Creed title, we'll be supporting the game well into its second year. While this year will be a very active year for the game, we're already working on more expansions for next year. Something tells me that Eivor is not done with Odin yet.
So you've seen some great games from us, but we also have news about the movies and TV series we've been working on.
Our Ubisoft Film and Television team has some exclusive content to share. Up first is Mythic Quest, the workplace comedy set in a game development studio that's streaming on Apple TV+. If you haven't watched the second season yet, here's a look at what you've been missing before the upcoming season finale.
Why do you have goosebumps?
This is an involuntary reaction to
Being inspired?
I was emotionally manipulated.
What's the difference? That's it. Except make it about me and not the world.
I feel really seen and heard.
I don't want to see you or hear you.
She played us to get what she wanted.
She inspired us.
She emotionally manipulated us.
What's the difference?
Up next is an exclusive look at a new trailer for our feature-length movie, Werewolves Within. It's a whodunit with teeth that'll be coming to theaters June 25th and on demand July 2nd.
Hello, everyone. I am Josh Rubin, the director of Werewolves Within.
And I'm Sam Richardson, the star of Werewolves Within.
Werewolves Within was based off a Ubisoft game, and we're so excited to bring you an exclusive look just for you.
Check it out. Dr. Ellis?
I told you, she's probably tanked.
Touch this door again, I'll shoot. Again.
Dr. Ellis? Get lost, please. Look, we need answers.
It didn't disappear.
What did you say? It didn't just... Shh. What?
It's not Emerson Flint. It's one of you.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? Okay, well... What did her eyeball say? Look, we don't understand. Can this please come out?
I'm afraid I can't do that, Ranger Wheeler. You could be one of them.
What is she? One of what? A lycanthrope. A what?
A werewolf.
The roads are effed. Something's wrong with the generator. Also, there's a dead body under your porch.
Yes!
I'm gonna go get a croissant.
Out of curiosity, who is packing? We having a good old-fashioned sleepover.
With guns, though.
With guns, yes.
Everybody's going, how the heck?
Not littering, I'm just excited.
Not judging, just watching it.
Follow Mythic Quest on Apple TV+, and be sure to catch Werewolves Within this summer, in theaters or on your on-demand platforms.
No hero story is complete without a great rival to match them. After all, even the most vile tyrant is a star of their own narrative.
When it comes to memorable villains, no one does it better than Far Cry.
Please, we have to get on that boat.
Abuela, what the hell I'm gonna do with baseball cards?
Do you have any idea what these are worth? Let us through.
Quiet. Marco, always making new friends.
Danny, you're late. Where's Alejo?
He gave up his ticket for his family.
Bullshit. Alejo is an orphan.
Alejo's not going anywhere anymore. Come on, Marco. Let them on.
Vamos.
Good man.
Gracias.
Boxing cow.
Let us on. Gracias.
Don't worry about it, chamaco.
Here. It's all I've got.
This isn't right, Danny. We should be fighting, not running to the Yankees.
Alejo gave you a fucking gift, Lira. We survive. Same as the orphanage, same as the academy.
What's that?
Please, no, this is a fishing boat. Dios mío, no!
Before he was El Presidente, mi papa loved to fish. We would go out on a boat, just like this, and we would catch the fish and then release them. He would say, it's not always about your stomach, mijo. It's about the challenge. Except when he caught a big, fat, juicy marlin, he was too proud to let that fish go.
See, Tirano! You have poisoned Yara! You have poisoned your sword!
I have caught a very big fish today. Haven't I, Diego? Diego!
No way.
I have caught you, mijo. Now it's time to bring you home.
I don't want this anymore, Papa.
We have no choice.
Let them go. They can work. Make Viviro.
Truth or lies?
Truth.
They could be good workers. They could help rebuild paradise. But if you wanted them to live, you would have never set foot on this fucking boat. 13 years old. And Diego has such compassion for his people. These fish, we will catch and release.
You've just seen another disturbing lesson from Anton Castillo, passed down to his son Diego as he grooms him to become the future ruler of Yara. The most important part of crafting a Far Cry villain isn't the fact that they're evil or shocking. It's that there's someone that could sit across from you at the dinner table and charm you into thinking that everything they believe, no matter how twisted or horrifying, could be absolutely true. That's the secret to Anton's power, and we couldn't be prouder to have him join the Far Cry family. Now, when creating Anton, we had quite a lot to live up to. Because when you think Far Cry, you think about its rich legacy of villains. Which makes today a very special day for Far Cry fans. Not only did we get to see into the mind of Anton Castillo, we finally get to unveil some of our post-launch plans. Our dream was to honor the Far Cry villains tradition and introduce a brand new experience. It is time to see the other side. Go further down the rabbit hole, and it's up to you to find a way out.
What is going on? Who's watching who?
My, what a happy family. RJ, tell your mother and sister to...
You are alive. That is all that matters.
What the fuck?
Peekaboo, motherfucker.
Where the fuck am I?
I too am a king who isn't afraid to slaughter to get what he wants. You're in my way!
Is this a test? A dream? An opportunity? Then I will not waste it. You are beyond salvation. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
We're so excited for you all to check out this next game.
Oof, Neelam, I can't wait to get my hands on this one.
We are now approaching our destination. Vast energy anomaly detected.
The whole team is super proud of this new game, and I can't wait for you to experience it.
It's fair to say that we did something quite surprising with the concept of Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. And for this project, we didn't want to stop there.
Hi everyone, Mario and the Rabbids are back. And I'm so excited to be back as well today to unveil our new project, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. We are diving back into this unique crossover with even bigger ambition, expanding our universe on a major scale. This time it's not just the Mushroom Kingdom, there is an entire galaxy to save. To do so, you will lead a brave yet reckless team of unique heroes, including some fresh faces like Rabbids Rosalina and other surprises. On their quest to repel evil across the galaxy, their spaceship will bring them from planet to planet. They will be facing a powerful villain, Cursor, an enemy unlike anything our heroes encountered before. But they won't be alone. By their side, they will have their new allies, the Sparks. These surprising creatures, born from the merge of Rabbids and Lumas, will lend their wild powers to our heroes. Their natures and origin are at the core of our story. But let's keep some surprises for later.
After the tremendous success of Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, the entire team was moved by the amazing reception from players across the world. We were stunned by the love we felt for this unexpected team-up. We know we've been off the radar for a while now, as we wanted to take the time needed to bring this crossover to the next level. It's not just a new story with new enemies, new heroes. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope has big ambitions. It introduces new action elements into the mix that will push the boundaries of tactical games even further. That being said, we also wish to offer an easy-to-play experience for all players, yet hard to master for those of you that are willing to take the challenge. And you will be able to experience this cosmic adventure exclusively on the Nintendo Switch. We can't wait to tell you more about the game soon.
There is an entire galaxy to save, and we cannot wait for you to experience it.
So we're not done yet. Let's check in with our CEO, Yves Guillemot.
Hi everyone. As you have seen, we have a fantastic and diverse lineup of games coming soon. And this is just the beginning. Thanks to all the teams at Ubisoft for what they achieved. and for always striving to deliver the best possible game experiences. I'm humbled by their resilience, energy, and collaboration, especially during what has been a challenging year. I'm also proud of our industry's ability to bring together millions of players from around the world to share memorable experiences and moments of joy. This is one of the real powers of video games, and it is what motivates everyone at Ubisoft to do our best. Finally, my sincere thanks to you, the players. We appreciate the trust you place in us. Your involvement in our games communities keeps them growing and vibrant. We want to create original, enriching, long-lasting game worlds. And your contributions, feedback, and support make it possible. We also are proud that some of the biggest names in entertainment trust our creative teams to develop games within their universes. For example, you just saw Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, developed in collaboration with Nintendo, where everyone's favorite Mario and Rabbids characters return for an all-new adventure. And speaking of great partnerships, there is one more exciting thing we would like to show you today. It is a glimpse of the amazing journey that awaits you in one of the most beautiful but dangerous places of all, brought to life by the latest version of our Snowdrop engine. I'm excited to share this first look with you now. Enjoy!
He's crazy.
Awesome.
Like I said, man, too much fun.
Thanks to Eve and all the devs that joined us to share what's new with Ubisoft.
Today, we battled some Archeans in Rainbow Six Extraction, learned some new songs in Rocksmith, got an adrenaline rush from Riders Republic, lit up the dance floor in Just Dance 2022, visited new shores in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, witnessed a chilling confrontation in Far Cry 6, and teamed up with our favorite man in overalls in Mario plus Rabbids.
Don't go anywhere, there's still more to come in the post-show.
Bye, y'all.
I think it's important to have a First Nations character in a mainstream game because Indigenous women especially are very underrepresented in mainstream media, and that's what we're hoping to change with this character.
The creation of Thunderbird does have immense potential to bust down all those negative stereotypes about even Indigenous women, Indigenous people.
If there's anything that can help target an audience to become more interested in Nakota community, it's probably technology. And Ubisoft is right in touch with the highest technology, games, and something like this can have a really big impact on youth. And I'm excited to see the outcome of Thunderbird.
Thunderbird was born in the Nakota Territories in Saskatchewan. Her civilian name is Mina Sky. She values her community and she's also a protector, whether it's of people, the community, or the land.
We knew that we wanted this character to be a pilot, a helicopter pilot, but we didn't know exactly in which field she would be working. So I asked the consultants if they had any sort of feedback or information that they wanted to take into consideration when picking the work field in which this character would be working.
I suggested that Thunderbird be a technical expert within hydrology because we believe as Nakota people that water is life and that within that is the struggle of protecting and preserving the environment.
When we started talking about weapons or tools that this character would have, we were kind of tossing around different names. I made a suggestion and say Nakota words as simply as possible. That Kona would be actually a good name because it means friend.
Thunderbird's gadget is a little bit unique. She's going to be our second operator who can raise the health of their teammates. However, it can also heal your opponents. So Kona quite literally is a friend to everyone.
Long ago, especially the northern Nakota tribes of the Great Plains, we tattooed our faces. And that's something that has been forgotten, even in our own histories. Now it's something that we're starting to talk about, something that we want to bring back. That's what I wanted to see with this character, was to grab someone's interest enough to want to go out there and find and do research of their own of who the Nakota are, what are the Nakota, am I a Nakota, what's my language, what's my culture, what does this symbol mean?
Thunderbird would not have existed without the input of Tarina, Jessica, and Shayna. They honestly created this character from the ground up.
We never really knew each other, and we were so excited to talk about this character. And we talked about water, we talked about her name, and we talked about all of these things that, you know, that's going to represent a strong woman warrior. she's going to be representing, she's going to be carrying. And, you know, that was really what was cool about working with Ubisoft on this character.
Je considère qu'aujourd'hui, quand on travaille dans ces secteurs-là, dans ces médiums-là, c'est notre devoir d'offrir un maximum de représentation, de donner la possibilité à un maximum de personnes de pouvoir s'identifier, de pouvoir rêver, de pouvoir se projeter au travers de notre contenu. Et c'est pour ça qu'on va repousser de plus en plus les limites de la diversité sur notre projet. On va aller voir un maximum de communautés et de minorités et faire en sorte que n'importe qui a envie de se projeter, qui a envie d'interagir avec Siege, puisse avoir une forme de porte d'entrée au travers d'un personnage qui lui ressemble.
She's really bringing such an ancient, historic people into the present. I hope that honors her and all Indigenous women and all Indigenous people.
I feel that us consultants worked very carefully and respectfully to develop a character that would make Nakota people proud.
This is something that's going to really impact with kids that are Nakota. I might just, you know, purchase a game console and try it out myself.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. We've got a great show lined up for you today. We've got a bunch of amazing folks from dev team members of the community, and our community team who are going to take you through a bunch of great topics related to the upcoming season of Siege. Coming hot on the heels of that making of video of Thunderbird, we'd like to take you behind the scenes of her design. In order to help you with that, we have Alex Karpazis from the dev team. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here.
So before we dive into Thunderbird specifically, I'd love to hear about the process of making an operator. What goes into this and what steps are involved in deciding what to base a character around?
Starting an operator starts with a lot of exploration. On the gameplay side, there's a bunch of gadgets we want to try out, things that are interesting for abilities. On a universe side, there's interesting bios that we want to explore, different kind of people we want to introduce to the cast of characters of Siege. And on the character concept side, we want to play with different forms and silhouettes, something that you haven't really seen before in Siege.
In terms of Thunderbird as a character, where did that conception begin?
Thunderbird was really interesting. The entire team knew that we wanted to feature somebody from the First Nations in North America. This is our backyard. We wanted to represent somebody from that huge community, but we didn't know where to start. And we eventually found that it all really started from the casting. We wanted to find somebody who could speak their native language, bring an incredible performance to the character, and really do justice to who the character we want to build is. So this all began with our star, who is Sarah Lise MacArthur, and she really was the driving force behind Thunderbird. She knows how to speak Nakotan, she has an incredible voice, and that's really what honed in on the idea of a Nakotan operator in Rainbow Six Siege.
In addition to working closely on the casting side of things, I also understand that you worked really closely, as we saw in the making of video, with consultants. I know you've mentioned that the symbolism was a really important part of where the consultants came into play. Was there anything in particular with the iconography that they helped with?
The consultants were immensely helpful and so supportive of what we were trying to do with Thunderbird. Once we knew that we wanted to feature a Nakotan operator, that's when we found 3 amazing consultants, one of them being an artist, to start working on the background of the operator and the visuals. And so when you take a look at Thunderbird, there's actually a lot of emblems and iconography that has a lot of emotion and meaning behind them.
Are there any that you'd be able to dig into specifically right now?
Every single badge on Thunderbird has a meaning. If you take a look at the back of her jacket, for instance, the 6-pointed star, which is a huge, huge symbol for the Nakota Nation. It represents so many things, most of all balance. Balance between life and death, between masculine and feminine. That was a really important thing we needed to nail, and we worked really closely with the consultants to make sure that that emblem was meaningful and respectful of everything we wanted to represent Thunderbird.
That's amazing. And I feel like one of the other things that's really, really identifiable on Thunderbird's jacket is the word Wagia. What does that mean to Thunderbird?
So Wagia is Thunderbird in Nakotan. And also we wanted to make sure that that language was visible on the character, just like it's something that you can hear Thunderbird speak in the animated short that we released. Making sure that the language was a part of the character was very important, and that's why you see it on the back of the jacket too.
So working with Sarah Lise MacArthur on the animated trailer, were there any big takeaways on your side?
I think the biggest takeaway was we learned so much from our consultants, from Sarah Lise MacArthur, and the hope is too that many, many more people can learn about the Nakota people, their language, their art, and really open up opportunities for people to investigate and learn more about these amazing people.
Thanks for taking the time to bring us through the design of Thunderbird. In the meantime, we're going to jump into the animated trailer that we mentioned before, but if there's anyone you'd like to thank, Alex, you have the floor.
I just want to thank the team for being so incredible. Thunderbird was an immense amount of work, and I know everybody's so extremely proud of her. And I also know that they're already hard at work on the next couple of operators that are already being worked on. So thank you so much. It means a lot to so many people to share these operators with the world.
Ready?
6 years ago, I met a pilot. She saved my life. That symbol, what does it mean?
This jacket was my father's. Dagu Wakan, Wichachpi. The Creator's star has many meanings. Love, wisdom, bravery.
Suits you.
Listen, I need to get this bird in the air. You try to get some rest.
You're the boss. What's happening?
Shh. Wait, that's it? What happened next?
Why don't you ask her yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Josh. I am one of the CRs for Rainbow Six Siege, and you may also know me as Ubiyubble on the Ubisoft forums, Steam, and Reddit. With the release of North Star, we figured this would be a good opportunity to discuss some of the top issues that we have gone over the past year. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. Up first, let's talk about smoke propagation and Smoke's toxic babes. We're excited to announce that with the release of North Star, Smoke's toxic canisters will no longer clip through ceilings, floors, or walls. Up next, bullet hole peeking. We know that for players, it can be frustrating to get killed through a bullet hole and not necessarily know where that bullet hole came from. With North Star, we're excited to announce that bullet holes in soft surfaces will no longer leave small holes that will give an unfair advantage to peekers. Players will need to fire multiple bullets to create larger rotations, and it's worth mentioning that thin materials like window glass, barricades, and the inner core of props will not be affected by this change. Next, let's dive into some of the gameplay-focused issues that are affecting our community. We are improving the way the game detects flashes so that you can be more confident knowing how it will affect your opponent. To solve this, we are simulating the way light bounces off objects in the environment and evaluating the strengths of flashes to make sure that they are balanced. We're happy with the results so far and are now testing it to make sure it meets the standards in the heat of a match, and we are currently aiming for a Year 6 Season 3 launch for this. Up next, let's talk about certain skins that are difficult to see. We know that when you're peeking down a corridor, you want to make sure that you're actually seeing your opponent where they are. And we know that there are certain skins that make this a little bit difficult for our players. To combat this, we are introducing rim lighting, that way all cosmetics have a similar visibility across the board. We are currently aiming for a Year 6 Season 3 release for this, so be sure to stay tuned to our social media for updates. Next, we'd like to talk about some issues that tie into your wider player experience with Siege. When it comes to cheating and toxicity, we know these topics are important for our community just as much as they are for us. In our last anti-cheat dev blog, we mentioned that we are working on building new cheat detections based on statistics to uncover our most disruptive cheat users. While this process was originally manual to stress test and help validate its accuracy, we are excited to announce that this process is now automatic. This means that sanctions for cheaters identified through data-based means will come quicker and reduce their impact on our community. Implementing an automatic process also allows us to work in parallel and strengthen our collaboration with BattleEye. We are also taking the time to further evolve the MMR rollback system by improving its reactivity and minimizing its negative impact on our players. The goal of MMR rollback was to help players when they are in an unfair match. That being said, we know that when you win against a team with a cheater and you are rolled back for that, it can be very frustrating, so we are working to address that. We will continue to tweak the design as we work towards a clear and fair system. We are not able to share an exact timeline at this moment, but we are working towards and aiming for a Season 3 release for this, so be sure to look out for more updates. We have also increased sanction penalties for abandon-related offenses, and this will be for ranked and unranked, and you will see this at the beginning of North Star. Paired with the recent improvements to the match cancellation, we expect this to help discourage this form of griefing while limiting the impact on our committed players. Now, this is only just a snapshot of what we're working on. Later on this week, we will share a top issues article that will recap these and some of our other top related issues. On top of this, we are also hard at work on focused updates for specific top issues, like an update to our anti-cheat dev blog, so stay tuned for more.
All right, and now we're here to talk about something very near and dear to my heart. That's the 6th Guardian program. The program launched Year 5, Season 4, and it was a way for us to focus the efforts of the Siege community on a good cause. And at the time, that first crack at it was with our friends over at Able Gamers. Throughout the course of that season, we were able to raise over $170,000 US for Able Gamers charity. So it was a great success. We thank everybody who contributed, bought the cool skin that we made with them. All the proceeds from those purchases go to the charity, by the way. And we're not stopping the program there. In fact, we're here today to reveal our next iteration on the program, starting in Year 6, Season 2, North Star. And we are joined by a representative, and in fact, the CEO of our next charity right here. His name is Steve Machuga from StackUp. Steve, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Eric. Thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. We go back a long way. We're always been looking for cool ways to work together, and I think this is probably the coolest one we've found.
Pretty damn cool. Thanks.
What is StackUp? Why don't you walk us through what your organization does?
So StackUp is a military charity. We provide support to U.S. and allied veterans through our 4 main programs. We have our supply crate program where we send Xboxes and PlayStations to units deployed forward. We have our Air Assault program where we fly disabled or deserving veterans to various gaming events like Comic-Con, E3, PAX, or to studio tours to check out their favorite games, how they get made. Our Stacks program, where we have little fire teams of volunteers that get out and do good things in their neighborhood, volunteer where they can. And then finally, last but not least, we have our Overwatch program, which is our 24/7 suicide prevention team for veterans online through our Discord channel. If you're having a tough time, you need someone to talk to, our volunteers are there and ready to go.
And if it's okay to say, you yourself served overseas, didn't you?
8 years in the Army, 4 years infantry, 4 years intel.
And is that sort of what gave you a bit of inspiration on the downtime?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, gaming was definitely something that I used both overseas and when I came back home to reacclimatize myself to being back home. It's definitely a strange reality, stepping off the plane and just going down the street to get a chili dog. It's like, where did I just come from again? Oh my, what in the world? It's a very rough transition. So having something to kind of walk me back into reality playing video games was that. And a lot of our guys and gals use gaming to kind of fill up that tough time in their lives where they need a little bit of help, whether it's staying in touch with other veterans or people that they're no longer in contact with. They can play games together across the country from one another. Gaming works out as a wonderful way to keep veterans motivated, their morale high, and generally part of the conversation.
Now, one thing that was interesting that you mentioned in there right at the top is it's not just a U.S. only charity. You're serving military organizations outside of the U.S. Is that right?
One of the things that we try to impress upon people is just because we're based in the United States, we are not just a U.S.-based charity. We help U.S. and allied veterans, which means if you put on a uniform and you're one of our allies through NATO or ANZAC, Australia, New Zealand, any of our allies out there, we will work with you.
And that fits in perfectly with the theme of what Rainbow Six is, right?
Exactly. It's very strange. Like I was actually reading the original Rainbow Six book while I was in Ranger School. So it was a very weird reality of, this multinational anti-terrorism unit. And, it was so crazy that here we are now, almost 20 years later. And it's amazing how far we've come as an organization.
So how do you feel about partnering with Siege and our community on this?
Oh, it's super exciting. I mean, you guys over at Ubisoft sure know how to run games as a service. It's amazing, and we're happy to be a part of it.
It's a wild ride working on Siege, and I don't think any of us would ever change it. So without further ado, we've talked a lot, but I'm sure people want to actually see what this bundle looks like. So we're going to pull up some images here of the bundle, and we'll reveal that it's a skin, in fact, for Valkyrie. So let's have a look there. Steve, how do you feel about this bundle?
Big fan. I was a Valk main for a long time, primarily because of my potato aim, and just being able to throw cameras around and watch avenues of approach as people trying to come in. I get the intel over to the guys who can actually make the shots. So that's where I liked playing primarily as a support class. So Valk's the perfect choice.
The Valk 6 Guardian stack-up bundle will be available as soon as Year 6 Season 2 North Star launches this week. And it's going to run for the entire season, so you have a whole season's worth of time to buy that bundle. And the proceeds from your purchase go directly to Stack Up and its great cause. So please consider it. Steve, thank you so much for joining us today. And before I let you go, I thought I'd give you a chance to let the people know how they can contribute, how they can help out, or get involved with Stack Up apart from buying this bundle.
If you're interested in learning more about Stack Up and how we support veterans and mental health for veterans, head on over to stackup.org. We're on the website, our Discord channels, discord.gg/stackup.org. Head on over there, and some of our volunteers will be right there with you. If you know someone who could use our help, that's a great place to put in a request form as well. So yeah, please head on over, and we're happy to help out wherever we can.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Guillaume to talk about crossplay and cross progression coming to Rainbow Six Siege. Some amazing announcements today in our show, and we'd like to spend a little time talking about these. First, let's talk about Stadia. So how and when will this rollout happen?
Stadia, we're very excited about it. It's going to be out and released on June 30th for everybody. So on June 30th, you'll be able to play on Stadia, and you will also be able to play with PC player, and your progression will also follow you whenever you play on Stadia or on PC.
That's amazing. I know everyone's very excited about cross progression and crossplay. Speaking of that, question on people's mind is, will PC and console have crossplay between them?
No, not for now. We're going to have separate matchmaking pools and crossplay pools. PC will be on a side with cloud-based platforms, and console in the future will be together.
Got it. So, and to be clear, when we talk about console crossplay, which generations are we talking about?
We're going to talk about every generation, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox One X.
Perfect. Now, it's something that is a highly anticipated community feature. So let's talk a little bit about the console crossplay coming. What steps do we need to take now to make this thing happen?
We're gonna need to be very careful on how we do it, because as you know, Siege is a live game, so it's like changing the wheels of the car while we are riding on the highway, right? So we're gonna have a lot of work to do on the UI to make sure that all the invite flows are working properly, and we'll also have a lot of work to do on the tech side to be sure that all the different and separate environment that we have right now are merged into one, so that they can support crossplay and cross progression.
This is going to be a community question that pops up with crossplay, cross progression. Does this mean when console crossplay happens that we will be supporting mouse and keyboard on consoles?
So this is indeed a very good question. We are working on looking what we're going to do it and how we're going to handle it. That's for sure. It's something that is on our roadmap, but it's a very complicated topic. And again, the idea is to make sure that we do it properly. So yes, input spoofing, and how we manage them in the matchmaking is on our top priority list. Yes, for that feature.
Yeah, that makes sense. So if console crossplay is coming in 2022, what can we expect between now and then?
First step will be the release of the Stadia version in June 30th. And after that, we're going to be hard at work making sure that everything is ready for the console launch early next year.
Amazing. Well, I think that's awesome. I think I speak for everyone when we say we're very excited for this to happen. In the meantime, everyone keep an eye out on channels throughout the year, and we'll keep you updated on the progress as we bring crossplay to Rainbow Six Siege. Thank you.
Hey everyone! Rainbow Six Siege is an extremely dedicated and talented creative community, and we've been working on quite some time on finding ways how to get designs created by our fan artists into the game. In March 2021, we launched the Community Artist Bundle program together with Prime Gaming and the very first community-created bundle by Source Siege for the operator Cavera. The response of the community has been absolutely fantastic, so big shout out to Source Siege for creating this fabulous set. Today, we're extremely excited to announce the Year 6 Season 2 Fan Artist Bundle, designed by the one and only Sunstark. Sunstark has been a pillar in our community with her amazing fan art for Siege, and she has a very unique story to share, because while we were creating her bundle, she was actually hired by Ubisoft to work on Siege full-time. She's here on the show with us today, so welcome Sunstark, and why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your story?
Hi, I'm Sunshine Kim. You know me more as Sunstark. I'm a character concept artist working in the video game industry since 2015. I started drawing Rainbow Six Siege fan art since Velvet Shell Season 9. I'm a big fan of military shooting games, so the general aesthetics of this game, character designs and character lore, and those all things really appealed to me at the time. So for me, it was a good stress relief to draw Siege fan art after a long day at work. And here I am in 2021. I officially work for Rainbow Six Siege now.
So you were a fan artist when we reached out to you about creating your bundle. And can you tell us how your journey was from being a fan artist to actually being an employee and working on Siege?
Let's say that it was like double lottery wins. It was already a big honor for me to be invited to this amazing program that to be immortalized in the game. And during the production, during the production of this bundle, I actually got approached by the art team of Rainbow Six Siege that if I would be interested in applying for the role on the team. So I did. I applied. and I got hired. It all happened in 2 months, and it was crazy. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. So, what is your position within Siege exactly?
I'm a character concept artist working on Rainbow Six Siege team. So that includes battle pass skins or like elite skins or new operators.
Now, let's have a very first look at the bundle you've created. So, you chose to create this bundle for Lion. Why did you choose this character in particular?
Yes, Lion is indeed my favorite operator. If you follow my social medias, 90% of my contents include Lion, so it's not a secret. I I just found the character really the lore is really interesting to me. It's quite dramatic. It's not for everybody, but he's just unique personality. Not good, but unique. His unique personality uh, causing trouble with other operators, and his really really dark past, and his relationship with his son and everything. It just made the character super rich, and I enjoyed adding my interpretation to every fan art I did for him.
What inspired you to create this bundle?
There was one time that I did a fan skin for Lion, which was firefighter theme. And to be honest, I went in super lightheartedly. I just enjoyed aesthetic. I just enjoyed mashing up firefighter uniform and then all the tactical gears together. It was just fun, creative process. When I posted it up, I got several messages from actual firefighters in our community, and they were all thanking me. All I did was just drawing a fan art of my favorite character, but they were thanking me for representing them in my art. So when Ubisoft approached to me and presented this idea, of course I'm going to take it. I immediately thought I gotta make that fan skin to be real. So yeah, there was no other option. It was going to be firefighter since the beginning, and yeah, this is my tribute to first responders in our community.
You had that idea in your mind of creating a firefighter skin for Lion, and now we'll have it soon in the game. Can you tell us a little bit about that process from getting the idea in your head into the game?
Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoyed working with the C's team. And remember, this was before I joined the team, so I was just a fan artist. I was just a fan. They treated me like I was on-site artist, so it was a really good. It was a good taste for me to what it's like to work with the C's team, and the 3D artist that I worked with was just amazingly talented artist that I'm really happy with the outcome. I'm glad that I got to taste that process before I joined the team.
Thank you so much for being here on the show with us today, telling us more about yourself and your bundle. And we're incredibly excited until the release. We can't wait to see it in game.
Thank you for having me here. I can't wait to see bundle either, and I can't wait for you to finally see my son.
We're sure you'll want to know how you can get your hands on the Lion bundle and when. So the bundle will be available shortly after the release of Year 6 Season 2 next week, and it will be available via Prime Gaming, which means it will be free for all Prime members. So make sure that your Amazon Ubisoft accounts are linked, and keep an eye out on our social channels and our website for any more information about this.
Hi everyone and welcome. I'm here to share some exciting news about upcoming Charms releases, including a first-time reveal of Season 2 Charms. But before we dive into that, I'd like to introduce my guest, Rob Walker, founder of the Cyber Athlete Championship Series, an independent competitive series. Welcome, Rob.
Hi, thanks so much for inviting me.
I know that you and the streamers had a chance to work with devs on some of the upcoming Charms, but first, let's talk about your work with CCS. First and foremost, tell me a little bit about what you're doing with CCS and what it is.
We started CCS as a tournament organizer, and we've kind of grown into handling productions for different events too, or one-off needs that someone may want when it comes to putting on a esports event.
That's great. With that said, who all can participate in being involved in CCS?
At the time, if you wish to play in a CCS event, you have to be 16 years old or older. The operational and production side, if you're worried that you have no experience, but you don't want to necessarily play in esports, you maybe want to get into commentary, you may want to get into running a broadcast, or you may even want to get into admin and community management work. I really look forward to people reaching out to me because I want to use CCS as a platform that you can get some experience and then maybe move on to bigger companies, bigger projects, really just find a sense of fulfillment in esports.
What can you share with me about any upcoming CCS events, and a little bit of maybe about the number of seasons that have taken place so far, a little bit of the history there?
We've had 5 seasons, and then we've also had one season that was focusing on women in esports, and there's also one that's coming up. I think over the course of us starting in 2017, we've had around 20 or so events, whether it's qualifiers, leagues, tournaments, charity events.
Because of the incredible work you've contributed to the Rainbow Six community, it made sense that you would become involved in working with the dev team on a charm. As you know, each season, new charms are added, and you were asked to help design a charm that we are going to get a first look at today. Can you tell me about what that was like?
It's still pretty surreal. And when I was asked at first, I didn't reply right away just because I was shocked. I didn't think that the siege charms would apply for us as CCS as an option. To be recognized like this is wild. I still can't get over it. I'm just really happy for people even wanting to play in CCS or to speak to us about events, not necessarily any tangible benefits or any recognition that you guys have been so gracious about. So they brought me through the design process, showing like all the different things that you could add. If you wanted it to have a little bit more depth, if you wanted to have any like distinguishing features of it, they were really cool and guiding me along the entire process.
It's awesome. The charm turned out great, so congratulations on that. We also have a first reveal of 2 additional charms. One that Yo Boy Roy has done, which you are seeing right now, and additionally one from Magnet. They both helped design these charms with our dev team, and I'm sure we're all very excited to see them in game soon. Thanks so much for joining me today, Rob, and thanks to all of you for tuning in. We'll see you on Monday for the launch of Year 6 Season 2 North Star.
If you'd like to see more of this in the future, please let us know. You can hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, Discord. We're everywhere. So let us know what you thought of the show and what you'd like to see in future episodes. So from everyone here on the Rainbow Six Siege team, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoy North Star launching this week, and we'll catch you next time.